Welcome back, my dear students. In Consumer Chemistry, we are now in Quarter 1, Module 4. So our topic for this week is aromatic hydrocarbons, particularly benzene. Benzene is the simplest aromatic hydrocarbon discovered by Michael Faraday. It has a chemical formula of C6H6, meaning to say it has 6 carbons connected to 6 hydrogen atoms. The structure of benzene may be symbolized as follows. Here is the expanded structural formula of benzene. Here is another one. And then we can also represent benzene with this symbol with a ring inside. So how are we going to name an aromatic hydrocarbons, particularly benzene? So there are different rules to be followed. The first rule is that you're going to name the ring as benzene. The second one is when there are substituents attached to the ring, number the carbon atoms of the ring starting at the 2 carbon atoms connected by a double bond. So the numbering should give the substituents the least number possible. And then the third one, the substituents will be named just like the way in naming an alkane. And then the last one, the following prefixes are used when there are 2 substituents attached to the ring. So O for ortho, for carbon numbers 1 and 2. So later on I will show you an example of that. P for para, for carbon numbers 1 and 4. M for meta, for carbon numbers 1 and 3. Okay, so here are the list of the substituents na gagamitin po natin later on. So, and H2 for amino. So we have Br for bromo, or that is a bromine. Cl for chloro or chlorine. So we have F, fluoro or fluorine. So we have I for iodo, or that is an iodine. And O2 for nitro. Alright, so let us have an example. So name the following compounds given this structure of benzene. So we have a substituent here. So how are we going to name this one? Okay, so let us have our table of the different substituents. So the first rule, name the ring as benzene. And then look for the substituent. What is the name of our substituent here in our table? And O2, the name is nitro. So just write nitro. So the name of this aromatic hydrocarbon here is nitrobenzene. Okay, for our second example, we have this structure here. So look at the substituents. So again, the first rule, you're going to name the parent chain or the ring as benzene. Okay, so benzene. And look for the name of the substituents in our table. So we have Br stands for bromo or bromine right here. And then write bromo. So how many bromo or bromine? How many bromine do you see? So we have 2, 1 and 2 right here. So we will be needing to use di as prefix. And then let us number this ring starting at the top. So we have 1 and 2. So let us number our substituents. So we have number 2. In the number 2 carbon atoms, we have bromine. And then in the number 1 carbon atom, we have also a bromine. So the name of this one is 1,2-dibromobenzene, or according to rule number 4, we can also use prefixes when there are 2 substituents attached to the ring. Okay, so O for ortho, since the substituents are connected to carbons number 1 and 2, so we can also use O So we will name it also as O-dibromobenzene. Let us have another example here. So given this structure, so we already knew that CH3 is a methyl. How about I? So tingnan natin si I dun sa ating list of the different substituents. So we have I. Ibig sabihin po ng I is iodo. So let us name the ring as benzene. Okay? So since magkaiba yung substituent po natin, we need to arrange it in alphabetical order. So let us number first our ring. So we'll start dito po sa taas, 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So the name of the substituent here attached to the first carbon atom is methyl. Saan po naka-attach? Sa carbon number 1. And in carbon number 3, we have this I or iodo. And then nasa carbon number 3 siya. Okay? So rule number 4 again, we can also use a prefix when there are two substituents attached to the ring. So yung substituent po naka-attach sa 1 and 3. So we can also use M for meta for carbons number 1 and 3. So we can also name this structure as M-iodomethylbenzene. So I think you are now ready to answer your module, the let's apply and the let's analyze part. So let us now proceed to our next topic for this week. So our next topic is about alcohols. Alcohols are organic compounds formed by replacing one more hydrogen atoms of a hydrocarbon by the hydroxyl group, or that is an OH, the functional group of alcohols. When we say functional group, that is the site of a molecule that controls the behavior of the molecule. So these rules will be helpful in naming an alcohol. So the first one, add the suffix OL to the name of an alkane from which the last letter E has been removed. The second one is, it can also be named by adding the word alcohol to the name of an alkyl group. And then the last one, the number of the carbon atom to which the hydroxyl group is attached must be indicated when necessary. Okay, so let us name the following alcohols here. So we'll name and give the molecular formula of this one. So our first example is CH3OH. So according to the rule, we can use the name of an alkane and then we will drop the E dun po sa dulo ng alkane na yon, the name of that alkane, papalitan po ng OL. So given here is CH3OH. So the stem of an alkane that contains one carbon atom is methane. So papalitan po natin yung E sa dulo ng methane. So here is the stem meth. So yung E po sa dulo ng methane, tinanggal po natin. So papalitan daw po ng OL. So ang pangalan na po niyan is methanol, or we can also use the methyl alcohol. Nasaan yung methyl? Right here. CH3 is a methyl. So may naka-attach po na OH for a functional group of an alcohol. So that is methyl. CH3 is a methyl, and then OH for alcohol. So methyl alcohol. So the molecular formula is CH3OH, or we can also make it as CH4 kasi may isa pang H sa dulo. We can also write CH4, and O. Okay? Pwede rin po yun. So, tatanggalin lang po natin yan. Okay, next. Again, the molecular formula is CH3OH. Next example, we have CH3, CH2, and OH. So again, since there are two carbon atoms here, so the stem is eth, or the name of that in an alkane is ethane. So papalitan po yung isa dulo. Since we're talking about alcohol, papalitan po ng OL. So the name will be ethanol, or so meron pong CH3CH2, so that is an ethyl, plus yung OH for an alcohol, so we can name it as ethyl alcohol. So the molecular formula C2H5OH or C2H6O. Next one is this one. So count the number of carbon atoms, ilan? So 1, 2, and 3. So the stem of an alkane that contains 3 carbon atoms ay propane. The name is propane. So papalitan yung isa dulo ng OL. So it becomes propanol or simply 1-propanol. So the molecular formula is CH3H7OH, or we can also write C3H8 kasi may isa pang hydrogen sa dulo, and O. And then the last one is CH3, this one. This is a branched chain hydrocarbon. So we have CH3, CH, CH3, and OH. So yung functional group po na OH ay connected sa second carbon atom right here. So again, yung atin pong example number 4 ay same lang po dun sa number 3, pero magkakaroon po sila ng ibang pangalan. Because yung example number 3 po is a straight chain. Yung nasa number 4 po ay branched chain. So we have propane, kasi may tatlong carbon atoms. Propane, papalitan yung isa dulo. So we will add OL sa dulo. So it becomes propanol. So saan po nakakonect yung ating hydroxyl group? Ay nasa second carbon atom. So 1, 2, and 3. So nasa second carbon atom. So ilalagay po natin ay number 2. Or we can also use the common name of this one. This is isopropyl. Tinatawag din po siyang isopropyl. So the molecular formula is C3H8. Ayan po. O, pinagsama na po yung hydrogen. So 8. So 3. So we have 3 plus 1 plus 3 and the other one here. So we have 8. So let us write the structural formulas of the following organic compounds or an alcohol. So given here is 1-butanol. When we say structural formulas, ano nga ba yung mga structural formulas? We have condensed, we have skeletal. We can also use the expanded one. Okay, so let us check. Condensed structure and molecular formula. Ano yung kanila magiging, what is the condensed structure? The condensed is this one, CH3, CH2, 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 and OH. So again, we're talking about butanol from the stem but. So ibig sabihin may 4 na carbon atoms. So with the functional group OH. So the molecular formula is C4H9OH. How about the expanded? Ano yung itsura niya? So, ganito po siya. So, again, we have 4 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the hydrogens connected to the carbon atoms. And the functional group, OH. Okay, so we can also represent that in skeletal formula, structural formula, or the shorthand structure. So, like this one. Ayan guys, so I think ready na kayong sagutan ng inyong module 4. Okay, with that, thank you so much. And if you learned something from this video, feel free to subscribe and like my YouTube channel. Good luck and God bless you all.